Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me today again on a very wonderful live stream. That's what this is a blast. I hope we have limited technical issues. Nothing like that today, hopefully. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to be with you guys. I'm really excited. Thank you, everyone. I saw a a comment from No Name. She said, bouncing in from communist China here. I mean, communist Canada here. Yeah, I saw the video from Jordan Peterson as well. I saw the news. I will be reacting to that tomorrow. I have a live stream for Friday, and that is what we'll be talking about. I mean, so many things I want to say. So I will talk about it. I'll begin to talk about it towards the end of this live stream. I'll kind of, give you guys a trailer to what tomorrow's live stream will be about. It will really be about that, and I have a lot of things to say. I really have a lot of things to say. Westerners, you guys should be concerned. You guys should be worried. This is not a lovely trend in any way, shape, or form. This is something that should be concerning. This is something that should get all of you worried. And before I go too much into the rants that I usually give at the beginning of every live stream, I want to remind you guys to do all the YouTube stuff, okay? Just hit the like button, give me all your comments, and as always, please be reminded that I'm open to super chats, and I appreciate each and every one of them, and I'm looking forward to them. But today's live stream will be about, my personal hero, the man who has changed my life, who transformed me from a meaningless, agent of the matrix to a man who is awake and who is aware of how the world operates. And but it's not just going to be about him. It's also going to be about the whole red pill space and how they see. I believe that's what it will be. I don't know so much about this clip. Now I've watched the podcast in its entirety. That's over 3 hours long, I believe, or three to 2 hour long podcast episode with Andrew Tate and two women, an elderly woman, and then top P, like I like to call her. We had the top G and we had top P. And then we had like two other women, and then we have the elderly woman that's usually on the stream, the person who joins Just Politics in her wife's school. So we are going to know what these people are, talking about. And like the title of the video says, Andrew Tate destroys Britany Renner. I don't know who she is, but it looks like that name commands some people. I guess she's pretty popular and stuff like that. But anyways, we are going to understand, how Andrew Tate, kind of put these modern women in their place, which is usually the title you see in Just Politics podcast. Modern women lack accountability. Modern women cannot want to take credit for a man's success. Modern women are delusional. Modern women, modern women, modern women, modern women. I don't even know what that phrase mean. As in, if I'm ever going to sit down with Just Politics and have a conversation with her, the first question I want to ask her, other than how are you doing, and other like small talk that you want to, use to start a conversation. One crucial question I want to ask her is, please define what you mean by modern women. I don't understand what that phrase means. And let me see what people are saying in the comments before we jump into the video. And this is from John, my regular audience. Thank you for always tuning in, always waiting, always commenting, always giving me reasons to talk. He said, Frank, I think you dislike Tate more than the woke do. Maybe I do. I don't know how much the wokies, the woke mob, I don't know how much they dislike Andrew Tate. But if I belong to that group, if I belong to the group of the wokies, if I belong to the left, I will be in love with Andrew Tate for the sheer reason that he makes every negative stereotype about the right look legit. How the left has painted the patriarchy to be such an evil thing. Andrew Tate make everything they make all those accusations look credible. If you're somebody who does not believe in, let's say, toxic masculinity, for instance, you cannot look at Andrew Tate and say, okay, maybe there is a claim to, there's something to the phrase. Maybe there's something to that terminology. Because many of the things he espouses and demonstrate and embody are terribly toxic, and And that toxicity is what he defines as masculinity. Is what he defines as being a man. And if that is his definition of masculinity, then that is pretty damn toxic. You know. So that's just how I think about it. You said this is from Khadija, who is trying to give me like make me understand who Britany Renner is. She said it's the WNBA basketball player that was locked up in Russia. No. That's Britany Grinder. This is Britany Renner. That's Britany Grinder. And of course, this. Let me share my screen so you guys can see. Like this is Britany. I believe this is this lady over here. My mouse is not showing, but the lady at the extreme. What will I call it now? At the extreme right. That's Britany. That's who Britany Renner is. So, and that does not look anything like a basketball player. Anyway, go back to my main screen. And this is from WIM FTW. Say women's studies can refer to him in the coming years. Yeah, they will. They will use him as classic example of all the things that is wrong with traditional masculinity. And bear this in mind that Andrew Tate is nothing like actual Western traditional masculinity. Even African masculinity does not look anything like Andrew Tate. He's a far cry from anything traditional. A far cry. You know. Okay, so Khadija says, sorry, Frank, wrong chick. It happens. I understand. And this is from Frozen Bean. He said he has technical issues often. I remember the last one. I believe this will not be the case today. Anyway, before I go on criticizing Andrew Tate, let's get into the video and let's see how it goes. I hope I'm not already having technical issues already. I hope they are not manifesting themselves already. I don't think so. And without saying too much, let's get into the video.
But let's make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with completely different things. You can have board. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things.
Is advised, strongly advised. Strong language is going to be used in this, you hear it from the video in this live stream. So please prepare yourself for them. And yeah, that's what you should expect. Is Andrew Tate, ladies and gentlemen, is bound to happen. He doesn't have a clean mouth, okay? So, yeah.
Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight and work. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go fucking die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai.
All right. Before I say something, I made the poll and I asked in the poll, will I ever agree with Andrew Tate without any pushback in the live stream? And thus far, what is the result? The result says, according to the results, which is still coming, the votes are still being counted, and maybe by the end of the live stream, we'll know what it is, what the results are, and also be able to see if actually I lived up to the expectation. Now, 22% said it will happen once, 27% said it will happen a couple times. That 27% just dropped to 26, increased to 27. 26% said it will happen a few times, and 26% said it will never happen. Well, let's see how it goes. I don't know how it will go, so let's see how it goes. But before we proceed, just to make to react to what he has said thus far, with the last thing he said. One, he said, the men that are dying in Ukraine, the women are in Dubai. The women are not in Dubai. Okay? The Ukrainian women are not in Dubai. Now, am I saying there are not some Ukrainian women who are in Dubai? Yes, there are so many, I believe there are so many Ukrainian women who during this war are having a blast. But those women, their husbands are most likely not in the front line. If their husbands are in the military, they have high position. If you see a woman who is balling, who is flexing, who is having a good time, the husband is well placed. The husband is not in the trenches dying in a war for the United States, a proxy war for the United States. No, that's not what the husband is doing. The husband may most likely not even be in the trenches. He probably will be with the wife in that Dubai. This idea that they often paint, like the men are the one fighting and the women are having a blast. No, that's not usually the case. Those women are more likely refugees right now in neighboring European countries, so they are not having a blast. But I don't think that speaks too much to the point he's trying to make, which is that men and women are different, which we have pointed out, countless times in various live streams that I've done and also various videos that I've done. It goes without saying men and women are different. I don't think that is a dispute that any logical person will make. And even if they are making such, they are disputing that fact, they are not doing it on good faith. It is obvious. It's self-evident, like the U.S. Constitution. That's this one wonderful statement that was used in the U.S. Constitution or Declaration of Independence. And it's self-evident. Men and women are different. But I have an issue with the statement that women only become honorable when they do things that women do. Yes, typically that is the case. Typically, a woman is honorable when she does things that women do. Okay? When you are a mother, you have like 7 children. That is a huge achievement, and people are going to seriously respect you for that. When you are able to take care of your home and you raise good children, they bring you joy. They also bring the man joy as well. It's not just the woman. They bring the parents joy when you have wonderful children and those children are doing well. It is a joyous and wonderful thing. True. But here is the thing. There are women. Let me not say there are women. Let me start by saying this. Nobody can also deny that when a woman excels in roles that are not typically for women, it is also honorable. There is not one way that a woman can be honorable. It is not just one way. You have to be a mother, and if you're not a mother, you cannot do anything honorable. Being a mother is like the pinnacle of is what women, I believe, is a fact. Women are designed to be mothers, biologically designed to be mothers, and when they are mothers, it is very honorable. But there are other ways women can be honorable. Women can be honorable in the workplace, and women historically have been honorable in the workplace. For example, scriptures, the Bible, like many traditionalists like to point out, the Bible has instances of women who assume the role of men. We have Deborah in the Bible. Of course, you say Deborah was not really in the battlefront. She wasn't like she was bringing out swords and slashing the enemy into two. No, that's not what she was doing. But she was and she was honorable for that very reason. Priscilla and Aquila. It is not typical in the Bible for the name of the woman to be mentioned before that of the man. But in the case of Priscilla and Aquila, these are husband and wife, but now wife and husband. The name of the wife comes first before the husband, and both were tent makers. They were tent makers. They were industrious. It is not unheard of to see throughout history women who were in the workplace and who were honorable for what they did in the workplace. There are so many things that will make you as a woman want to work. One is, in the event where your husband has an issue, let's say he's disabled or he's late, you have to, pick up the slack. You have to, become the man. Not in every way, but at least as a breadwinner, you have to become the breadwinner. And when you assume that role, let's say as a widow, as a woman who is taking care of a disabled husband, that is honorable. There's nobody who's going to look at that and say, look at her, she's acting like a man, it is dishonorable. No, they will see that as honorable. Also, when you are a woman who has a knack for enterprise, when you have this entrepreneurial spirit and you are able to excel at it, it is honorable. No one should take that away from women. It is honorable. The problem with both feminism and the red pill community is that they want to force women into a mold. Both of them are trying to do that. Feminism says a woman must work. The way you show the only way for you as a woman to show that you have value is that you must work. If a woman does not work, then she's not valuable. You have to stick it up to this man. You have to show this man that you are equal. That is how, as a woman, you can show. That's how, as a woman, you demonstrate a value. If you don't do that, you are not valuable. That is a lie that feminism tells women. Right? Then the red pill men say, if you are a woman and you walk, you are not going to be honorable. There is no way a woman will walk and be honorable. No way, it is not possible. And that is also a lie. To tell women that if you have this entrepreneurial spirit, if you are somebody who is industrious, there is nothing you will do as an industrious woman that will make you honorable in whatever industry you specialize in. That is a lie. It is a very big lie. It is so untrue. And to tell women that is bad. Historically, it has never been the case, even in traditional society, that women have always stayed at home and never been involved in the workplace. I did this brief history. I did this brief research one time when I was researching a particular video, which I ended up not making. And I realized that, in America, talking about people who, slave owners that were black. I was doing this research to find out people who were, like, during the period of slavery, those who were slave owners that were black. And a couple of the names that were mentioned were women. Yes, even as far back as, 100, 200 years ago, women were industrious, so industrious that they were slave owners. Black women too. So this idea that women cannot excel in industry and be honorable as a result is a lie. I can list so many women that are honorable because of where they specialize in aspect of finance, in aspect of administration. There's this woman in Nigeria known as Obieze Kwesili. Obieze Kwesili, I've forgotten what she worked as a government. As a federal government official, I've forgotten her position, but she's very respected because of how well she handled her position. We have Dora Akuyele, very reputable woman in Nigeria. These are women who did well, who excel at their craft and are honorable because of that. This woman was so, like Dora Akuyele. She's late now. She passed away due to cancer. This woman was heading a unit in the federal government that have to do with drug regulation and fighting fake drugs. And she was so effective, so effective that she was heavily celebrated. Heavily celebrated. This woman did extremely well. Her track record was impeccable as a woman in the workplace with male counterparts. It is not unheard of. I know the problem with feminism is that whenever women do it, they celebrate it like it never happened. It has been happening. It has always been happening throughout history. It is not news. So as a woman, nobody should tell you that the only yes, being a mother is important, and yes, you should strive and aspire to be a mother. But if you have other abilities, it doesn't stop you from manifesting them. And you will still be honorable regardless. And that is where he is wrong. So on this point, no, I do not agree with Andrew Tate for 100%. I get his point, but he makes the whole thing black and white and does not, offer this nuanced opinion about the whole thing when it comes to women working, which I consider to be, something negative, towards women. To give women this idea that you shouldn't work, you shouldn't try to be industrious or excel in any field, leave it to the men, be housewives, whatever it is. No, don't earn more than your husband. If you find yourself having the capacity to, no, that is not something you should tell women. If they have the opportunity, if time and chance presents itself and allows them to, explore this option, they should by all means explore it. And of course, yes, family should always come first. It should, including for women. Family should always come first. Another example, I know I'm going off on a serious rant here, but I think there's need for us to really drive through your life. You see excellent traditional women. Traditional in the sense of they were submissive to their husbands. They were good mothers. They were present in the life of their children. And they were industrious. They were hardworking. And they excel at their craft. They were not lazy or slothful in any way, shape, or form. And we continue.
Chilling, That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at other things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical world. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. Yeah. That's what happens. If all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's the bottom line of reality. That's the bottom line. So you have to understand as a woman and say, okay, I need a man who's good at being a man.
But one's saying that we don't need men in society. Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
This is the problem with feminism. It's just two people talking over each other. They're not even listening to each other. The whole conversation is just annoying at this point. You know, you're not even addressing the point he's making. Instead, you're just coming up with your own phrase, your own erroneous belief. And I think that is really the problem, right? You have the red pillars talking nonsense. You have the feminists responding with another nonsense. It's just two people talking nonsense in an entire conversation. All of them, yes, they have a semblance of common sense, but it's just a resemblance of it. It's not the actual thing. Of course, Andrew Tate is right. Yes, men do all the heavy lifting. These are things that, all of us know. For the most part, predominantly men. It is called predominantly men, not exclusively men. That is something people should understand. It is called predominantly men, not exclusively men. Men, predominantly, you see men in, baseline of society, like he calls it, right? If you look through the epoch of history, you'll see that most of the great warriors we celebrate are men, right? Predominantly men. But it doesn't mean you will not find women. I mean, I'm not saying women are better warriors than men. That's not the point I'm making. I'm just saying it doesn't mean you will not find women, and that if you see a woman who finds herself, this is the problem when you couch this statement like this. Is this: men and women should be allowed to be themselves. What that means is, if you're a woman and you are attracted to manly things like sports, towards that thing you are drawn towards, you can do it. Man, woman. You should be allowed towards that. The problem with each of the camps is they want to either force you into something that you don't want to force, you don't want to be in, or exclude you from something that you should be a part of because you are drawn towards it. And that is what I hate about this sentiment of, men are the ones at the baseline of society, blah, 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 blah. Women are... What do you mean by baseline of society? Baseline of society is violence. What about childbirth? Childbirth is not baseline of society. It's not the cradle of society. Like people don't. This is another thing that these red pill guys do. They magnify the role of men. They magnify it and then diminish the role of women. When it comes to childbirth, it is baseline of society. The baseline of society is not just all violence. Childbirth is part of it. It's essential. Very, very essential. Without it, there is no point of killing whoever it is you want to kill for whatever resources you are fighting for. Is that not baseline too? What do you mean by baseline? When all the electricity in the world is gone and everything, will people not still need to give birth to people? Matter of fact, it is in societies where they don't have electricity that the birth rate is high. And then this other woman is just like, we don't need men. And I'm like, come on, what do you mean by that? We don't need men. What does that mean? This is why it is easy for red pillars to dunk on this kind of ladies. And of course, just poorly things will not bring intelligent women to flesh out these ideas and, perfectly represent the average human being, at least. Just bring all these ladies who are like, women do not need men. What? Like, is that your response? Women do not need men. That's what you're going to say? How is that even a logical statement? That women do not need men. It's as illogical as saying men do not need women. Okay. I think I get where this lady is coming from. She's like, in society, we need men. In relationships, we don't. And coming from a woman, this is funny. Because one thing I believe women understand is relationships and the importance of relationships. You know, men kind of sometimes learn to live isolated lives, right? It's common amongst men to see men. No, I'm not saying all men, but it's common amongst men to see men who live isolated lives, who live, away from the whole, they're not really, always hanging out. There are men who like, life of the party and all whatnot. But for the most part, you just see most men who are just like, on a grand scale, on a broad scale, just lean towards, being alone for the most part. You find it amongst men. And women are heavily relational. And women understand that relationship is necessary. It's not just a luxury. It's not like a handbag that you buy but you don't need. Relationship is important. And it's part of people you want to relate to are men. Then the relationship with men is important. And for society, the relationship with men for women is extremely important. It's not just something you can, function, you can do without. No, you need men, even in relationship. Even in marriage, you need them. You need them. I'm a Christian. It goes without saying. And when God created man, Adam, according to the Genesis story, the scripture said, and God saw that it was not good for the man to be alone. And he created the woman. He created the woman because God saw that Adam needed a woman. And the same thing can be said about women as well. You need the man. Not just in society, but in relationship. And another funny part about this whole thing is how can you divorce the basic relationship, which is family, from society? How can you separate them? They are integral and essential parts. There's no separation of both sides. Like to say, relationships. What is available in what you have in your marriage or in your dating life or whatever is different from what is available in society. Like how can you differentiate both? They are all part of society, and you need men, especially in relationships. Especially in relationships. So no, that is wrong to suggest that. And before we move on, I want to acknowledge the super chat from Chiforik Loan. Thank you for the €5. I don't even know if it's euro or pounds. I think that's pounds. £5 super chat. Thank you so much. I understand how people take financial and life advice from I can't understand how people take financial and life advice from sex offenders like the Tates. I mean, it's really fascinating. And this is from Monelekwa. He said, if one gender didn't need the other, then our species would have gone extinct. Preach, my brother, preach. So let's continue.
Need you.
Do you know what?
I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, I don't need you in my day-to-day life.
Wait. What if someone breaks into your house?
I'll just...
Let me let them finish.
Police.
Okay, what if they don't come? What if the average in the US it takes like 15
and give them everything.
In the US it takes like 15 minutes for them to get there.
But that's not realistic. That doesn't happen on a day-to-day life.
These two guys in your house, what are you doing?
But that's not realistic. I've not had any man break into my house on a day-to-day. It doesn't happen.
The point is,
so let's be realistic now.
I know what you're saying, but the point is this. The point is, when we're talking about feminism as a whole demonizes men. And you just sat and said, besides procreation, I don't need a man in my life. I can go to a male mechanic or call a male police officer. They're men. So it's
society, you are needed. I agree. Okay, of course, we need you.
Of course. So you're talking about being with a man because you want to. So my question to you is, why would you want to be with a man?
Why would a man want to be with you?
Because they're sexy.
Like, obviously, because of the
Can we just talk about men? Sorry, I love men.
No,
I love dick.
We don't sound like it, but it's not all about dick. What I'm trying to say is that in a good relationship, right, one that works, there's blue jobs and there's pink jobs. Right, and that's the problem that women have got.
Oh, geez,
they don't want to be doing no pink jobs.
But that's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about
relationships. Why do you need a man in a relationship? because you want a partner.
Companionship, friendship, romantic love, things that you can't get by yourself.
Like you want to go on dates with him. It's not about I need someone to fix my car. Like go to a mechanic. You're not safe. Call the police.
Not
like it's
true.
not that deep.
What about a father to your kids? You don't think your kids don't need a dad?
You can be around.
I get where the lady is coming from, but she's not really articulate. I get what she's trying to say, but she's not really articulate because she's using words like need. You need, but you don't need. Need. Like, what do you mean by need? I get what, and this is one problem with this format is like they can't wait to dunk on the women. So even when the women are trying to say something that makes sense, but they are not fleshing it out perfectly, they just get shouted at and shown just how ridiculous they are because that's what is good for whoever fancy this kind of shows. But there's a point she's trying to make. And what is that point? It's a fair point. It's not you. It's a fair point. And let me see if I can perfectly articulate what she's trying to say. What she's trying to say is this. The way society is today, right? Especially Western society, not African society. You have systems and structures that have been put in place to help provide for, the basic needs that you otherwise need a man for in a primitive society. That is how Western society is today. So you have, electric company, you have security companies, security agencies, you have the police, you have, almost for everything you really need, in the sense of need. You have people who can do it better than the man you may end up dating, right? So that there is that. So if you are dating a man because you need an electrician, it is dumb to do that because you can always get an electrician from the electric company or from somebody who runs a repair shop or something, an electric, whatever. You can always get it from those people. If you need somebody to secure, your home, you can always hire security as a woman, and you must not necessarily be dating the person. Just Pearly Things have security men in her studio, and she's not dating any of them, right? And they keep her safe. Now, this woman is talking with regards to relationships. So, when all of these things that would have been necessary in a primitive society is taken away and handled by specialized people, specialized bodies, and specialized professionals, what then do you need men for? And I think that is one of the failings of the red pill community because they don't answer that question. Instead, they just run back to men build skyscrapers, men do that. And we're like, no, okay. And she's making a fair point. Yeah, they do all of that, but you don't need to be in a relationship with them to benefit from to access these services, to have this level of security, to have amenities and what. You don't need to be in a relationship with them for any of those things. Now you need to find that there is more to that relationship than just somebody who does the heavy lifting. So what then will you need a man for? And the answer is this. For every other thing you will need a man for. Okay? For every other thing you will need a man for. And that's the point she's trying to make. That when baseline of society, fine, we are not in the baseline of society. So as a man in a relationship, what is your what? And that is something that many in the red pill space have not been able to articulate. As a man in a society, in a relationship, leave society in a relationship, what is your what? I'm not saying they are not without what. If you are in the comments, what is it? What will you describe as that thing that you say, okay, this is what men in a relationship bring to that relationship as men? Why then should women be in a relationship with you? Good question. Let's see if maybe throughout the conversation they're able to answer that.
I definitely want that. These are the stuff. This is the reason I need a man.
I
agree.
Wait. It's not that you want it. You need it.
I agree. And these are the stuff that I need in a man. But it's like at the end of the day, it's not like I completely need you. It's
But
like I want you.
But the whole point is, if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need a man.
In society, agree.
Why do we act like women are so useless?
It's not that
I can change a tire.
No, I'm saying if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need someone to protect you. You
yes,
would.
of course. In society, not my boyfriend.
I'll go underground.
Like, half of my exes can't even do anything.
This lady is going hard on the guys. I can't believe that I'm supporting the modern women today. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, look. Andrew Tate and just poorly things have turned me to a feminist. I'm supporting the modern women. Can you imagine?
That's actually another
Poor
problem.
choice.
A lot of men can't do much.
Do you know what I mean?
Not everybody's strong.
In this day and age, guys can't even
Listen,
fit a tire.
You
It's
cannot.
actually
You cannot.
ridiculous.
No, no, no.
Women can't
Hang on
cook.
a
Not
minute.
you, my sister.
But I can cook. I can cook.
brothers.
And the thing is,
Andrew Tate,
I'm not
speak to
even.
your brothers. They don't know how to do
listen,
I'm not
Can I
even
say something?
saying.
Guys.
Can I just say
We
something?
have to do one at a time.
Can I just say something? This is why you can't blame all men for your poor choices. You can't say, I'm talking to both of you because you are saying, yeah, my man can't do this, my man can't do that. What? And you want to settle down. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted them to do?
That has nothing to do with the conversation. Respectfully to the elderly woman, that has nothing to do with the conversation. It's not about why will you go ahead and choose a man who cannot. That has absolutely, like this segue, where is this coming from? That has nothing to do with the main conversation. That has nothing. The point they are making, the point the lady is making is, if there are structures in place in society to provide for me all the things that a man traditionally would provide for me, why then do I need a man in a relationship? What men now you have to define what exactly is your role in that. I'm not saying they don't exist. Believe me, I have a list. But I want to see if they will get to it, right? I want to see if they will get to it and be able to highlight it first. And from what I'm seeing, they're already shifting from that because now she's going to, it is the lady's fault because an electrician and know how to change tires and know how to drive and know how to, do woodwork and stuff like that. As if most of the men you consider alpha know how to do any of those things. Like, I'm pretty sure Andrew Tate himself, if there's something wrong with his electricity, he will not fix it himself. He will call someone. If there's something wrong with his car, he will not change it himself. He's top G. He will call someone else, right? I mean, it goes without saying. If there's something that needs fixing around, he calls someone else to fix it. He's wealthy, right? So what then is it the money? If there's a lady who is as wealthy as Andrew Tate, she can afford to get anyone to fix anything, to do whatever. To handle all those issues. That's how society is today. So in relationships, in marriages, what then becomes the value of the man?
Because my man could do all the blue jobs.
I need a man.
Because most men grow up with a PlayStation instead. Most men grow up with a PlayStation and porn and things. No, that's the truth.
It's not.
Speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself.
That's the man you
Listen,
pick.
I'm sorry, I don't need a mechanic as my boyfriend.
You know what?
I need a.
Oh, really? So there's not this epidemic of porn watching, video game playing men out there. Oh, there are plenty of, there's no epidemic of that. Speak for yourself. But when it comes to generalizing for women, just purely things will be first in line to do that. But when it comes to men, speak for the men you date. Why don't you tell those men who come to your show and give you all their negative experience about women and say, maybe it's because of the kind of women you choose. How about that? You see, this is one thing about the whole red pill, whatever. The criticism does not go both ways. It doesn't. It's just one way. It's a one-way ticket. It only goes one way. One-way street, rather. Only goes one way.
Father to my children. I don't need.
Do you know something, right? She needs a
police
father. Hang on a minute.
officer.
She needs a father for her children, right? So
Yeah.
she's gonna go out there, right? And you're gonna buy your child an electric car. You're gonna go and buy your child a bicycle. Who the hell's gonna put out the bicycle and fix the electric car? Who's gonna do it?
You got YouTube, right?
People are... What point is this woman making? What point is the elderly woman making? I really don't get it. Like, I thought we've moved past... Anyway, everybody's just talking over each other. This podcast is apparently a crap show.
I know how to do these
Bro,
things. I fixed the Bentley before.
Why
I
do you need
fixed
a
the
man?
Bentley.
If you can do everything yourself, go and get some sperm donor or something because you obviously don't need a man.
That's the future, I
and
think,
the thing
you
is,
know.
the future for who?
No,
That's the
one in the aspect.
I don't even understand what this woman... I don't know... I don't even... They don't even stick to a subject. They're like mumble rappers. They're not even sticking to a subject. A crucial point has been raised, and they're just talking over that crucial point. They're not even sticking to the subject. like the real question that has been asked. Nobody has provided answers for it. And there's Andrew Tate there, right? The representative of all men, to speak to that and to explain, okay, this is if you minus the men are warriors, men are chanters, men are killers, men are soldiers, men are power line workers, men are roughnecks, men are, okay, minus all of that, what else are men? Especially when it has to do with a relationship. Beyond protecting in the sense of, being the security operator, being the security officer of your home. Beyond all of that, what else? How else do men protect women that you cannot get anywhere else except in a relationship in 2023? And instead, people are talking over themselves like, oh, well, if you get, who is going to fix the bicycle? There's so many people who fix bicycles, madam. There are so many people who fix bicycles. If the bicycle gets spoiled, the man may not see. There are many men, like good men, who have not fixed anything in their life before. They don't even know how to fix things. And they are good fathers, good husbands, wonderful. They've never fixed anything before. They are more interested in other things. Are they less of a man because of that? In 2023 especially? Of course not. Not every man is into hand and craft and DIY.
Why is it that when people start cooking, they think that cooking is traditional? It's everything. It's not just about cooking.
Cooking isn't traditional, but fixing things is what makes you a traditional man. Being able to chop wood is what makes you a traditional man. Okay.
They always say, I cook for my man, so I'm traditional.
I have a question. I have a question. Wait. I have a question. Are you virgin? You're traditional.
What is it? Jesus Christ. Apparently, people watch this thing. I want you guys to understand something. People sit down and watch this thing. I think we'll even learn more reacting to middle ground from Jubilee than to just watch. Like, people actually sit down and watch this thing. Like, people actually sit down and watch this. Like, this has, I've forgotten how many number of views that this have, but this have significant number of views. People actually sit down to watch this thing. I mean,
you're a virgin.
Are you a virgin?
Like, they're not even sticking to a subject. They've hopped onto something else, and they're not even sticking to a subject. Jesus Christ.
I said in that aspect, I'm not going to comment on me being a virgin or not, but what I'm going to say is every.
She didn't say she's overall a traditional woman. She said when it comes to cooking, I'm a traditional woman in that aspect. That's what she said. You move on from that. Why do are you a virgin? Are you a virgin? Like, really? What does that have to do with anything? And where I grew up from, it is really in Nigeria where I spent most of all of my life. It is a rude question to ask a woman. Like, it's a rude, like, we consider that question as in invasive and very rude. To just out of nowhere, are you a virgin? It's a very rude question.
Human being should be able to cook.
She's a hybrid of tradition and modernization.
I'm a person that survives. I need to cook to survive.
Can I ask Mr. Tate something, right? Right, I'm going to ask you something.
Sure.
Right, because I can't. I don't like bullshit, right? And there's certain people that I can't
Why
even
so
bear talking
excited,
to,
man?
right? So I'm going to talk to him because so far he's talking sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
You're
giving
welcome.
pick me.
Right. Who said pick me? Listen, who just said pick
They
me?
want me. Don't look at me. Oh.
I said it's give him pick me. Because we're having a whole conversation.
Listen,
And you're like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mr. Tate.
This is why you should not marry multiple women. This is why you shouldn't have multiple wives. I used to and put them in. This is if you've ever wondered why shouldn't I marry multiple wives? Here is a good example of why. Okay, this is like Jesus Christ.
Hang on a minute. I've been with my man for 32 years.
Clap for yourself.
32 years. I don't need to clap for myself because I'm happy. I'm not here. And what I was going to ask him, right, is how would you think a woman? Would you think that woman? Would you think that woman? Calm down.
Man, this lady is being heavily disrespectful. Come on, respect old age, young lady. Respect an elderly woman. I know you might say, well, but respect her. It's really bad. Like, this is bad. People don't do like that. I see it a lot in the West where people just, have this disrespect, blatant disrespect for elders, even when you think they're acting in a way that is unbecoming, a way that does not befit their age or whatever. You don't disrespect them. You don't disrespect the elderly like that. Show some respect. Why are you shouting? And then talking over them and being, what's the word now? Sassy. That's bad. That's really bad. That's really bad. In this regard, this woman is nothing. It's a far cry from being traditional. In this regard, like, she's a far cry, because traditional women, so if there's anything like that, which these days is really hard to define, you are respectful. As a lady in general, as a human being, traditional or modern or whatever label you want to give yourself, even feminist, whatever, just respect elderly people. Respect the elderly. Respect them. You don't talk over them. Huh? Jesus Christ.
Man, I'm loud. I'm naturally, you don't want to hear me shout. Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now, is this your idea of a woman that you think deserves a man? I'm here, single, but I'm looking. I'm here. I'm like taking, if you want to hook me up, let me know. And I just want anybody, but choose. How does that make you feel? What is that kind of woman that you think deserves a man?
Well, he's a top G. You can't be asking him this question.
But
about us mere mortals. We're mere mortals, Auntie.
Speak for yourself. I'm no mere mortal.
I'm a mere mortal in his presence.
Because nobody
Come on now.
Me.
Which kind of question be that?
Auntie, unlike you, we have options.
I'm a mere mortal
Unlike
next to
you,
this man.
we have options.
Even this 8.5.
If you have options, then where's your ring?
That is the most stupid thing.
Because I actually can choose. I've not found a man that I want to be with.
Okay, that's
I know your reality. I know your reality is you gotta beg a man to keep you.
Hang on a minute. You said unlike you,
Drama.
we have options.
We have options. Yeah.
You're out here looking for a man. You're out here saying that you're looking for a
When
man.
did I say I was looking for a man?
Oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions. That's what you said.
I said I was doing
That is what you
interviews.
said.
I didn't say I was going out looking for a man. I said I'm doing
Hang on a
interviews.
minute.
You come
But
to me,
listen,
I'm gonna decide if I want you.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the insult.
I'm not
right? Listen to what she just said to me. Unlike you, I have options. Fucking 32 years. You think I want options? I'm happy with my man.
It's giving you don't really
I'm
have
happy
much
with my
options though. Because the way
No,
you're like,
it's not pick me. Auntie, she meant clout. Wait. She meant Esther, I'm sure you didn't mean pick me, you meant clout chaser. Is that what it is?
It doesn't matter.
We could go with that too.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to clarify your problem. I was just saying.
Okay, wait.
So I've told you.
There's no value to this. There's absolutely, like, this is a complete. Let's see if they stop shouting over it. There's absolutely no value to this.
Relationship for 32
No,
years.
clout chasers his fans.
It don't make no sense.
You can monetize on YouTube with clout.
I'm even sure even Andrew Tate is there wondering, what the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? This is a complete waste of, as in, this does not even show respect for your, this is, and how do people get to this point where they are not ashamed to act this way in front of a camera that is going to be, broadcasted live and viewed by millions of people? Millions of, eyeballs will see you disrespect yourself and behave so, behave in this kind of way, and you are not bothered by it. This is going to follow you for the rest of your life. You have children, hopefully, and they are going to see their mother behaving like this on camera, acting in a very, bad way, not respecting elders, talking over people, shouting, and just acting like market women, like they say in Nigeria. You're just acting like real market women, uncivilized human beings. It's just bad. And of course, it makes for good TV, right? It makes for good YouTube videos. These are the kind of things people tune in to see. Now I understand, first of all, I was like, where is the value to this? But I realized that, there's an entertainment value to this whole crap show. These are the kind of things that people love to see on the internet. Just women, quarreling. It's like a market scene, a Lagos market scene. Everybody just gathers and watch them quarrel. This, beyond the entertainment value, there is just like watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, watching the fake fight. But this one is that it is real, and it is is really there really is no value to it. And I was looking forward to seeing Andrew Tate give, maybe make one of his points, and the first point he made is already like what I would consider not nuanced enough and not really addressing various aspects of of life and what it means to be a man and a woman. But every other thing thus far is just people fighting with each other, calling each other names, and this is supposed to be valuable. This is content creation. This is content creation, ladies and gentlemen. This is what passes for content on social. This is why everyone should not have a podcast. This is why everyone should not be guest on podcast. This is why podcast settings like this sometimes just there's no value to it. It's just mindless, endless bickering, and And I'm very sure that people those some men be like, you see, this is the problem with women, and just bring out the worst in these women. It doesn't even make sense.
Why are you calling her a pick me when you were the one advertising at the beginning of the show?
I said I'm doing interviews. I wasn't advertising nothing.
Okay.
It's
What
banter.
Wait.
Do you guys understand what an interview means?
Okay. All right.
She's being spicy, guys. Stop
You
it.
said the life
Auntie
froze.
had a question for Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
What was your question?
Oh, she asked already.
He didn't answer because everybody's too busy
Don't
jumping.
ask your question.
Everybody's too busy jumping in. I already asked, but you're not too busy jumping in and being women.
He's patient.
So the live stream has frozen. I don't know why. Is it still frozen, guys? Is it still frozen? Let me know in the comments if it's still frozen. I don't think it's still frozen. Some people said in the comments that it's frozen. Let me know if it's still frozen. All right, thank you guys. You guys are telling me that it's fine. Thank you. I just wanted to be sure that it's not frozen and stuff. Thank you. Some people were saying in the stream that it was frozen, so I wanted to confirm. Thank you.
So
He's ready to get married.
Because you know what it is, though? You know what's actually funny? The things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. All of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe that if we completely fuck it all up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix it.
destroyed. It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's
No.
been bad decisions from powerful men that got men to go.
Let them help him. He should make his point. I was waiting for him to finish. They should not interrupt him. He should make the point he wants to make. Jesus.
To wars
Men
and
built
from women to lose husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
all
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making
Yeah, and it was populated by women, but continue.
is now we're entering a world of new think. And the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or
What is people in the West? What is the new paradigm? Okay, I understand the feminist claim. Okay, can I just say this first of all? There are a couple of things that we can blame feminism for, or we can say feminist ideology introduced a lot. A lot. There are a couple of things. But some of the things people complain about is not feminism. It's just modernization. I don't know if some people realize that some of the things they are complaining about is not really feminism. It's just modernization. That, innovation, as in industrial revolution. Some of these things is just advancement of human society that has created some of this problem. It really has nothing to do with feminism. Like you can blame it on, like you can hookup culture, feminism, destruction of the nuclear family, feminism, granted. But some other things are just modernization. The fact that we don't know how to live in this technology age. We don't really know how to. We've never had this before. We've never lived in this kind of society before. We don't know how to go about it. And to claim that, the solution is just let's revert to the old ways. What does that mean? Does that mean that people should no longer drive cars? Should people no longer do some of the things they do? Like, what do you mean by reverting to the old ways? Should everything from the old ways be retained, even in a new world? We are living in a new world. So many things about, reality has changed. Back then, maternal mortality was really, really like high. Infant mortality was through the roof. Things have changed now. And most of the changes is not due to ideology. It's just due to innovation. It's because of innovation that women can work in the first. People often blame, these women entering into the workforce in mass. It's feminism that created that. Now women have flooded. Yeah, to some degree we'll say yes, feminism pushed. But one of what is strongly responsible for that is innovation. Like, inventions of things like the sanitary pad, for example, and other, things and products and services that have been in place that make it possible for women to work. So now that women have that opportunity, that's why they get to work. In certain time in history, that will not be possible. But now that is the case, how do we deal with it? You cannot just say, people are messing it up. It's not just that people are messing it up. There is a new reality. And there's something that is said in the scripture that you cannot pour new wine into an old wine skin. Okay? When things have changed, you cannot constantly insist on everything from the old. I'm not saying there are no valuable things from the old that we should maintain and preserve. But this push that, we have to keep living as if nothing has changed. Let's just go back to the past. Women do not work. Nothing. No, we have to recognize the fact that things have changed. Things are not the way they used to be. How then do we function in this new society? And that is a point that was mentioned earlier in this video, which they've not still yet addressed. Now that we live in a society where if you want somebody to fix your car, you call the mechanic. If you want somebody to protect you, you call the police. If you want somebody to fight war, you call the military. If you want anything you need a man for, there are men that specialize in doing that. And we can celebrate them and promote them and not demonize them in society. And push them up forward to excel at these things because that's what they specialize in. Now that we have that have created, what then do you, in terms of marriage and relationship, marital relationship, what exactly now do you need a man for? That is a real question now that we need to, when it comes to relationship, what then do you need men for? Because whenever this is talked about in this podcast and all, men build skyscrapers, okay, fine, men build all of those things. I agree with you 100%. Men are the ones in charge of all of these things. I agree with you 100%. But guess what? To enjoy all these things created by men, you are not required to be in a relationship with any of them. You don't have to be. This is now capitalism. If you have the money, you can buy whatever service a man can offer to you. Sadly, including sex. So now you have to be able to fully tell what exactly is the benefit of that relationship. And like I said earlier, there are many benefits in that relationship, but you have to make a case for it now that things have changed. Make no mistake, I am not saying that there is no need for men. I'm not saying that a woman does not need a man in a relationship. And there are not so many things that men offer in a marital relationship that they've been offering for centuries and still need to offer today. But you have to make a case for those things other than saying men build skyscrapers and men are... No, nobody is messing things up for the most part. Especially when it comes to... You have to make a case for these things now. You do. Like, what I mean by make a case is you have to list those things beyond just the ones that anyone can buy. What are the things that you get from a relationship that you cannot get by purchasing it somewhere, buying it somewhere? That is the real question now. So let's leave all the feminists. Yes, there are things feminists have demoralized men in society. I will give everyone that. Feminists have led to a decline. Like, one part of the things they push have made so many, like, you know, with the whole Me Too, men don't even know how to relate with women. We can talk about that. Hookup culture, we can talk about that. The crisis of masculinity, we can talk about that. And those are things that we can say, okay, yes, so and it's to a degree, feminism have played a major role in you know, ushering in these issues. But when we are finished addressing that, we also have to address the fact that part of what we are dealing with is the problem of modernization. It's the problem of, you know, living in a modern society where things are not the way they were when when your grandparents were alive, when your great-grandparents were alive. There are now new ways of doing things. And we need to the thing, I'm not saying we should disregard traditional values, but we need to understand how traditional values are relevant. Gender roles, how they are relevant even in a modern society. It's like the scriptures, the Bible. The truth in the Bible is as we Christians believe anyway. We believe that the truth in the Bible is timeless, right? But how it applies in different, you know, epochs in history is different. So traditional values, we can say they are timeless, but how they apply in 1945 is not how they will apply in 2023. You have to now be wise enough to articulate and discover how you are going to apply them in your relationship in 2023 with the modern circumstances you find yourself living under. And that is where the difficult, that is where the real, that's where you understand who is really smart enough to articulate this things. Anybody can come up and say some of the things and Tate is saying. The real intelligence is for you to say, okay, this is how traditional value can apply today under this new circumstance.
Worse, whatever. That's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female. People always say, you know, the number of emails I get from girls who say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you...
How shallow is that? Like, how shallow can a human being be in this life? How surface level primary school thinking is this? Like, how shallow can a human being be that this is... Oh God. Let me let him continue.
I'll tell you, one of the ways a man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
Okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date a girl and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then I say, I've met this girl. Yeah, she's this, she's this. Oh yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date. So you went. The attraction goes from this to zero. Done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices. But men like me who genuinely have unlimited options, we want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for, because that gives status.
So says the man whose girls we are on webcam. We are doing webcam for him, opening their body for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that has money to pay. So says that man. That what matters is having a girl that no one can have. Why the girls he had was public property for everyone. So says that man. Jesus Christ. Are people really taking this guy serious? This is a guy who has a course on how to pimp your girlfriend. And he's here saying what men want is exclusivity. Yet I just can't pull it up. But there are videos where this man is saying, "Why are you bothered about people seeing the nakedness of your girlfriend online? Doesn't bother me." There are clips of him saying just that. And this same man is sitting here saying what men want and what men like him value is exclusivity. His brother, his brother, the mother of his niece is, I don't know if it's his niece or if it's his nephew. I think it's his niece. The mother of his niece, and Tristan Tate's baby mama, was working as a webcam till 2021. Was working on webcam for Tristan Tate. That's the exclusivity. That is the status. That's the Andrew Tate status, that he will get a girl and then haul her out on the internet. And I don't care, you might say it is not illegal, blah, blah, blah. Those women know what they are doing, blah, blah, blah. But those are Tate girls. Written on their body, Tate property. And that is how he got status from those women. A girl no one could have, right? But they have their pictures all over the internet, and he never showed like he had a problem with that. But he's telling you what men want. And any person who is stupid enough to think, even if you are a man and you think now in your absolute stupidity, you think that what you want is status. That's why you are in a relationship. I'm not saying men don't want status, but that's why you are chasing a marital relationship. For status, you are a very stupid human being. Absolutely stupid. If that is the kind of thought that's running through your head, I want to marry a woman right now, and the reason why I want to marry her is so that my boys will be looking at me and be like, "Yo, my guy, you are a very stupid person." Yeah, that is why traditional men, like to call themselves, that is why Eve was created, so that Adam will have status. You know, God look at Adam and say, "This guy does not have status. What are we going to do?" Jesus Christ. That is the game for women. Status.
That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female.
And that is how Andrew Tate is helpful to young men. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is the help he's offering young men. Get into marriage so that you can brag. Getting married to somebody is a bragging right. That's what you call a trophy wife. And those relationships are highly dysfunctional.
With all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend,
and when I show my distaste and as in my disgust for the nonsense, some of the nonsense that this guy talk about, people are like, you are a Tate hater. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what he's pouting and propagating is absolute rubbish, like absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Like absolute nonsense. 5% truth, 95% rubbish.
when you're looking for a boyfriend, etc., and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure. Da, da, da. It's not about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out.
Here's something from the nameless Jeffrey. I want to point it out. He said, no. Here it is. He said, many men marry trophy wife. Frank is saying they are stupid. Yes, that is what I'm saying. Yes. When you marry a wife as a trophy, when what you are marrying a wife is trophy, is like gold medal for you. You have Jesus Christ. Stupid does not exist. You are beyond stupid. I don't care how much you have. Tell them that's quote me. It's not even, there's nothing traditional about it. Some people are like, oh, but that's what kings did. That's what Alexander the Great did. And you think, wait, when you talk about traditional men, you think you call Alexander the Great. That is a traditional man. Because he lived in the 16th, in whatever century he lived. Everybody, so many people think when you go to the past and say example of how people live in the past, that's traditional value. Do you know you can find example of some of the nonsense feminists are spouting in the past? Does that make it good? Solomon that had how many? Is that a good thing? How did he end up? How did he end for Solomon? How did he go? What was the end of Solomon? Even David, part of his problem Part of the, if you read your Bible, part of the problem David had was women, his wives. Let me Christians who even Abraham, the father of faith. So don't give me that you should go and get trophy wife. That is why you should get married. Jesus Christ. How ridiculous is that? The reason why you're getting married is to brag. Do you know what it means to objectify somebody? Do you understand what objectification is? When your wife is nothing more than a trophy. What is that? What do you define that as? And is it traditional to objectify women? Is that what traditional value is about? That is what he's teaching here. That's what that is exactly what he's preaching. When all a woman is to you is status. That is objectification of women.
Out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays.
Yeah, when you tell a woman to stay at home and she stay at home, it makes you look good. Jesus Christ. When a man having authority over his household is because it makes him look good. Are you? If there are married men in the chat, when you have a woman who listens to you, why is that important to you as a man? A woman who, like, your input is valuable, respects your authority as the man. Why is that valuable? Is it because it makes you look good? Or is it because it is necessary for your family to function? Like, for any system to function, you need somebody who is at the head and somebody who is, you need a leader. And as a Christian, I believe God has ordained it that the man should lead. That is one of the things that men offer in relationship: leadership, direction. You're not doing it because it makes you look good. You are doing it because that is part of what you have been made to do, designed to do. That is what you have, something like the temperament, the ability, the mental capacity to do, is to lead in a family. It's what you have been called to do. It is your calling to lead your family. You're not doing it because it makes you look good. There's nothing as superficial as this. It's like this is how 10-year-olds think. This is how children, babies.
She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me. That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house.
Let's let him
That's
rant.
what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G, boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What about...
I hope nobody will say now that he's playing a character. He's dead serious here. Dead serious, guys.
What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize that I'm a ninja. I detect these things. Even when I'm looking directly ahead, I can detect it. So I'm going to give her some of my Clementine, and she's going to feel better. So I'm going to get a Clementine for her. Would you like some Clementine, my dear?
I'm sure.
You want some Clementine?
I think for me, it's like...
I asked you a question. Would you like some
I would
Clementine?
love some,
You
yeah.
want some Clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming. All right. Go on. Continue.
Okay. What?
No, I mean, I just feel like this is definitely a different conversation for me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective, and I do feel like this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience, other women that I've met.
Somebody just said something in the comments, and Mr. DJ said, okay, counter arguments. Most modern women want a high value man as a trophy and flex as well. Fair. That you can make that case and say that is also objectifying the man. If you look at a man and all you see is a blank check, that's wrong. That's wrong. There is more to. I mean, we've already said that I believe, as in from the beginning of the conversation, that there is more to a man than that. You know, we've said that. It's like how we started the conversation. How that lady was like, if you want somebody to fix this, you get it. If you want somebody to do this, you get it. You want somebody. So then what do you need the man for? We've already established that. So any person who thinks those are all there is to men, it's just a fat wallet. That is bad as well. If there's a woman who has that mindset, it is bad, it is wrong. To see men like, I'm not saying finance does not matter. Just like I'm not saying that respecting a man does not matter. And finding a woman who is respectful does not matter. All I'm saying is that is not all there is. And like making it all about status and flexing and trophy is like, even if you want a man who has money, the reason why you want a man who has money should not be because you want to flex. Maybe you want a man who will be able to take care of your children, who has the capacity to do that. If that is what you are considering, that is a good reason, as in is a good reason to consider than, I'm looking for something to flex. If there's any woman who has that man, they are wrong as well. That woman is wrong as well. And what she's doing is bad as well. It's equally terrible as well. And thank you also for the for the $5 Australian. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm on fire this morning, which is probably evening for so many of you, but bear with me. I'm on fire. Some of these things just really like get me worked up. Sorry.
As well, it's like the reason for even like relationships why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like, even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat but not for you, my thing is like, why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you? That's like, to me, where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's
All
like,
right.
why can't we have transparency? And if I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it? No man in a million years. Let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is going to meet a girl he likes and go, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come on, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong. That is how.
Time, resources,
Wrong.
and something else.
Time, resources. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she's interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant.
That's a lie. That is another lie that the red pill community spouts. It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay? It's a lie. It's a lie. What is important about showing affection? Know this and know peace. What is important about showing affection is how the person you are showing the affection to wants it to be shown to them. You don't just say, oh, that's how I show affection. And be like, yeah, that's my way. That is how I do it. No. If you really care about somebody, you want to know what that person's need is and you want to meet that need. That is how you care for. That's how you care for people. You don't care for people in your own way. Like when you really care for people, especially in a relationship, don't say, oh, that's my way. That is how I see it. No. When you care for somebody, you care about how they feel about things. You care about what you want to know is, how does this person want to be loved? How does this person want to be cared for? What are this person's needs? What are their concerns? There is no, this is how men show affection. Men show affection like this. Men show affection by providing. Women show affection by being nice. No. You show affection by asking yourself, what does this person need? And how do I meet those needs? That's how you show affection. Not, this is what I think you need, and this is what I'm going to give to you. I don't care what you actually claim to need. What I need, what I feel is what you need. As an alpha male, top G. No, that's rubbish. That's absolute nonsense. Think about it like this. You are a man now, as a man. You meet a lady and she's like, the only way I can show you affection is by cooking for you. And you're a man, you are a chef. You know how to cook. Cooking is not your problem. Somebody cooking for you does not really move you. And a woman meets you and she's like, oh, well, as a woman, how I show you affection is by cooking. And you're telling her like, no, cooking is not, I'm not a foodie. If I want, I know how to cook. I can cook my own meal. Not to be insulting, but I even cook better than you. Something like that. What does the woman do in that situation? She has to find other ways, Understand what you want and be willing to provide that. That's how you care for somebody. You don't insist, this is my way, this is how I do it. This is how I show affection, and that is what it is. That's not how you show affection to anybody. You know, you discover what they want, you know what that need is, and you provide it for them. If a woman wants you to be exclusive to her, it's not a matter of that is not my love language. No, you don't be like, oh, men do not show it by being exclusive. No. If that's what matters to her, that is what she considers as a serious priority for her, which every woman should consider, which by nature women want. Then it is no longer an excuse for a man to say, well, it is not in my nature. Oh, well, it is not in my nature, so I cannot be exclusive. Really? And another important thing I want to mention, since we are on the subject of nature, very important, very crucial. One thing that makes us different from animals as human beings is that we are able to recognize things in our nature that are not good. Right? To recognize that there are things in our nature that we desire naturally that we should not satisfy. If you're a Christian in the building, you know the scripture that says, when Jesus said, if anyone should come after me, he should deny himself, pick up his cross, and follow me. You have to die to self. That's what that is what Christianity teaches. Denying yourself. Okay? As a human being, one of the things that make you different from animals is that you don't follow your natural instincts to the T. You realize that every natural instinct you have should be structured in a way that will lead to the flourishing of society. You have to channel it rightly, correctly. You have to find the right outlet for it. So for a man to say, I'm naturally promiscuous, and then not be able to control his sexual desire and then ruin his family as a result, and then be like, oh, well, it is my nature, everything should just revolve around me. I think that's one of the things that red pill guys do that is just ridiculous. You want everything to revolve around you. You care about nobody. You actually don't care about nobody. No, I'm going to provide and protect. Then the woman should just sit at home and make me sandwich and make me coffee. Really? 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 Yeah, that's why now that we live in a modern society where you're providing and protecting when it comes to providing cash and providing so-called security, is now being outsourced. Now you have to prove something else in that. Now you have to know what the woman really needs in that relationship, and as you as a man have to seek to provide that. And that, for me, I feel is one of the challenge of these men in these real peace spaces, is realizing that women want more. They realize that women want more than a provider and a protector. No, I won't say they want more than a provider and a protector. They want you to provide and protect. They do. But in a different way than how your grandfather did it. Now you have to provide something else. You have to protect from something else. And many men, especially those in the red, they are not ready for it. They are not matured enough for it. They don't even have the self-control of their fathers. Think about it. Your ancestors, as a man, your ancestors, the good ones, don't make it look like every ancestor was a very good guy. The good ones, right? The ones you should emulate. They protected, in that they fought wars, they protected from wild animals, whatever it is, harsh weather condition. They provided in the actual sense, like as in those services that are now being outsourced, like I said. They did all of that, and they were still able to also provide other things for their wives. Leadership, emotional support, companionship, leadership, I think I've mentioned that, and also being a father to the children and all those things, being present. They were able to do all of that while also being providers and protectors in the sense that we understand it when we talk about traditional values. But you as a man today, where part of your providing and protecting have been outsourced, you cannot even do the others. But at least you have muscle and you drive a Bugatti. Yeah.
This man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man Yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I drive.
That is a lie. Any woman who is doing that is lying to herself. Just the same way Andrew Tate said that men do not like open relationships. In the same vein, women don't like Listen, I know polygamous families, okay? I live in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening in my backyard. It happens every now and then. And I can tell you for a fact, based on what I've seen with my 2 eyes, that women don't like it. Women don't. One of the beauties of women is how they are able to endure things they don't like and act like it's cool and smile and be like they are managing it. But if you deep down, they don't. They don't. Women don't like it. They don't like when their husband is cheating on them. They don't like when their husband marries a second wife. They don't.
I fly private. I go to Dubai anytime I want. I have a Chanel bag.
And that's one of the lies that real guys spew when they say, "Oh, well, women are okay with that as long as their bills are paid." Like that's all women. You just need a man who pays the bills, right? So what happens when you are a rich woman, right? When you are a woman who can pay your own bills? That is where the question comes in. What if I'm a woman who can pay my own bills? I can hire security. I can hire a plumber. I can whatever thing I need to fix in the house. I can do all of that. Should I also be okay with my husband cheating because he pays the bills? Really? And is that the kind of woman you want as a man? A woman who will allow you cheat, allow you be irresponsible.
I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle.
Hey, but at least he has a
This
Bugatti.
is not just me. This is the world and most
Red,
of the world
pink, and
today. If you go
purple.
to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife. She's pushing a Bentley. She has the kids. She's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucked.
Yeah, that is the ideal masculine man. The picture of masculinity is mafias in Russia. That's when you are looking for traditional masculine male role as in figures in society is mafia bosses in Russia, ladies and gentlemen. That is a pinnacle of masculinity that society need. Mafia crime lords. Yeah.
Can I ask
But
you?
she's just like, whatever, don't care. I'm the one who has the money. Don't give a shit. So you have to sit there, and to a point, you have to sit and analyze the difference when you're saying disrespect. If you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're gonna end up doing is having a bunch of failed relationships and fucking loads of dudes.
Okay.
There has to get a point where you go, you know what, this guy.
That is a lie. That is a lie. Of course, first of all, there's no woman that will say all that matters to me. There's nobody that say all that matters to me. This gross exaggeration is just stupid. All that matters to me is sexual exclusivity. It matters. It's not all that matters. There are other things that matters too. And it's a lie to say if that is what you want, you will not be able to get it as a woman. Hey, listen. Do not buy the lie. Do not buy the lie. Do not buy the lie that a man cannot give you that. And that if a man gives you that, he's not happy. That is a lie. That is a big, fat lie. Don't ever fall for it. That's red pill nonsense.
I tick so many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid. I'm looked after. I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem, he's gonna fix it. He's ticked so many. That's the smart female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me. He fucked that bitch once, so I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch.
That's a lie. That's a lie. This guy is painting it like all. You see, this is the gross generalization that these people do, that all men are unfaithful. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. There are faithful men out there. This is the problem. This is the problem, right? If you see a man who is faithful in his relationship, who never cheated on his wife, they don't make the news. Reports. This man has been faithful to his wife. He never cheated. Hey, TMZ just caught this man always being faithful to his wife. No, the ones that make the news are the ones that cheat. Because, being faithful is not newsworthy. Cheating is newsworthy. And then people take those news, which is usually like exception to the general rule, and make it like, oh, you see this because see, men cheat. You just have to. Men do cheat. Men do cheat. As if the ones who are faithful will be on primetime television, or will be trending topic of discussion on Twitter. Of course not. Absolutely not. So to make this general statement based on news headlines and be like, yeah, you see, it's not possible to. No, that's a lie. Don't believe it. Don't fall for it. That's a lie. There are faithful men out there. And a man can be faithful. Listen, as a woman, you can call your man to faithfulness. You can demand. It is the bare minimum that he can do for you to be faithful to you. If you love someone, you will be faithful to that person. There are men, if you're a man, and you are willing to fight wars for a woman, you are willing to go to climb 7 mountains and 7 seas for a woman, then why is it difficult for you to just keep your penis in your pants? Why is that an issue for you? That's where you fail. In other things you excel, but in that one you're like, this is where I fail woefully. Self-control is very important. And if you find a man who cannot control himself, that's what makes men cheat. They cannot control themselves. You should run away from that person. Because that's not a leader. That's not the quality of a leader. That's quality of somebody who is unfaithful, who does not keep to his word. And a man who cannot keep to his words, who cannot promise you something and keep to it, instead comes up with stupid excuses like, oh, it's who I am. That is not a man. Shini Bini say, can we have a timeout, spam? Please, the spammers should please stop. I am seeing your name. All the people yelling facts. Please, it's fine. Thank you for all the comments, but, just tone it down, please. Tone it down, please. Thank you also, Shini. Thank you, Shini Bini, for the super chats. I really appreciate. And this is from Lil Buzibet. Say, hi, Frank. Love the show. We need moderators. Moderators in the chat, I don't know, but people in the chat who are like spamming facts, please just, tone it down a bit. Tone it down. Thank you for agreeing with me, but just tone it down a bit. Let's continue with the wonderful things we will get from the nugget of wisdom that help young men that we get from Andrew Tate, which involve it's okay, allow your men to be irresponsible and to be unfaithful. That is what masculinity is about, because that's what mafia bosses in Russia they are doing. And there's something somebody said in the comments I could not find. If I have to go up to find it, he was saying, the person said, people who are who have mafia ties and all those people are heavily respected in the streets. Listen, if your standard is street standard, then you should not in the same breath call yourself somebody who upholds traditional values. If street standard is your standard, then you should not call yourself somebody who is a traditionalist. No, you are a street guy, and you want to emulate street life. So you want to be like the kings of the streets. Fine, but don't call yourself a traditional, male. All right, I think it's time to block some people. Oh, my distance is kind of lagging. Anyways, where was I? So that is what I have to say about the whole thing. Don't have your standards like it reminds me of something that Jesus said to his disciples. He said, your righteousness should exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees. In the same vein, I want to say to you, your righteousness, your standard for masculinity should exceed the standard of mafia bosses. In Nigeria, we celebrate criminals, 419ers, people who run internet fraud, who deceive people, extort people online. when they make it and then parade themselves with big cars and all whatnot. We celebrate some of them. I'm like, oh, that's Odogu. Like, that's the word we call them. People call them top G or a real G or an OG. We call them Odogu. But when it comes to morals, those are not moral standards. Those are just Odogu in them that they have money. They just have money. That's what it is. This is money, rich people. If you want to, that is not what, that should not be your moral standard. If you want moral standard, look for moral, upright people. Don't look at mafia bosses whose moral compass led them to a life of crime and expect moral standard from them. I think they are pinnacle of morality because they are being cheered by people in the streets. No. Anyway, let's get back to...
It's the end of the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I have
but
more mild examples, though?
Wait. I have a question. Is there ever cheating that's too far? Like, so if a guy cheats on a girl, is there ever a point where she...
Yeah, there's a lot of cheating. There's completely a lot of cheating.
So, like, if he knocks up another girl, would you say that's too
all right,
far?
all right. So,
Yeah.
first things first, I'm a man of my word. I don't even think I'm a liar. So here's your Clementine.
Thank you.
And he peeled it. What a
Thank
gentleman.
you.
I'm a gentleman. Right. So, obviously, I'm not saying blatantly disrespect your woman, right? She's your woman. She's your queen. She's the most important thing in the world to you. She needs to be treated in a way that she feels that, right? But it's unfortunate because I keep tying back to this baseline point. But the reason I keep going back to this baseline point is to try and explain to everybody at home how simple the world can be if you go back to the baselines of it. Why do men cheat? Most women don't know. You'll see them all the time. Why do men cheat? Oh, because men are just stupid. And why do men fuck girls uglier than their main chick? Why do men do all this stuff?
They had
Do you
a
know why?
moment.
I'll tell you why. Let's go back to the first thing I've been saying this whole time. Status. Yeah, that's my chick. She's home.
Yeah, that is why this guy is the dumbest human being I've ever seen in my life. That's why men cheat. Yeah, that person who is banging the secretary is doing it because of status. Right? Those men who are banging their secretaries, those men who are busy, disgracing their families, they are doing it because of status. Those politicians that are busy chasing college students in Nigerian campuses, they are doing it because of status. Yeah, that's exactly why they are doing it. Of course.
Took this one home. Yeah, I got that one. She's chasing me.
That's
Status. But it's stupid to females. I get it.
It's stupid to any reasonable human being. It is not stupid to women. It's any woman being without that does not have the IQ point that is the same number with a freezer. It is stupid to each and every one of them. It is painfully stupid. Like really, really stupid. To anyone, to say you are cheating on your wife because of status. How is it, in what society is it respected when a man cheats? Like, you see it as a respectable, like this is sign of respected in what way? Except you are hanging out with people with zero moral compass. Like, their moral compass is so broken. Those are the only people who would cheer for that kind of rubbish behavior. Person with someone who has morals will look at that and be like, why are you doing this? This is bad. Look at what you are doing to your family. This is terrible. There is nothing honorable about it. Many men who have cheated on their wife are not proud of it. It's one of the lowest points in their life, which is how it should be. It is not something to be proud of. And yet you're like, they do it for state. What men? You need to ask yourself when you listen to people like Andrew Tate talk, and ask yourself, what kind of men do this person, what kind of men are in this guy's circle? Who are the men he operates with, like he rolls with? These are degenerates. These are scumbags. But hey, he's now by the way, this is like 6 months ago. So when he was saying this, he was still a devout Muslim, And I'm very sure, anyway, let's know.
But that's the male world, because sexual access is an easy indicator of status. So that's one of the reasons they do it, right? So you have to go back into the baseline of why men even cheat in the first place. I'm telling you, if you're a woman the smartest thing you can do is look after your man, make him not want to cheat, be perfect. But there's going to be a time across a 20-year marriage you might just need to be a little bit blind. A little.
These people are conditioning women to be okay with cheating. That's exactly what he's doing. He's conditioning women to be okay with cheating. Ladies, don't fall for it. If a man will not want you to cheat on him, he should not cheat on you. You deserve it. It's disrespectful. It is insulting to your marriage. Now, I'm not saying that you should leave him because of that. That is a different conversation. But I'm saying you deserve it and you should demand for it. And when you are choosing a life partner, that should be something you consider seriously. And if you see a man who is spouting the same nonsense that Andrew Tate is spouting, he's going to be a terrible husband, a ridiculous father, a sham of a human being, and you will regret ever marrying that person.
Just a tiny bit. Just don't look at his phone.
So
and you'll be cool. You'll be cool. Just make sure the bills are paid. He does.
Yeah, something that Molilekwa said. He said a Muslim who doesn't read the Quran because he doesn't read. Not only that he doesn't read books. The time he wanted to do a photo op of himself reading the Quran, he placed it on his privates, which is something that is haram in Islam. Because, you know, his penis is so holy that he can handle the holy book. And Muslims are like, especially the ones who are red-pilled, they're like, yeah, allow him, he's still upcoming. You know, of course. Obviously, because when people are reading Quran, they're like, take a picture of me and put it online of me reading the Quran. That's how, like Christians, now when they are reading the Bible, that's the same thing they do. They're like, oh, I'm reading the Bible now, take a picture of me and put it online, obviously.
His job's the man.
What
now,
if you can pay your own bills, though?
But this is it. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm not saying allow this for some fucking Joe Schmo. I'm not saying let some fucking loser pick you up, lock you down, and go cheat on you.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he's a G and he's doing enough of his other jobs. As for you saying, what if you can pay your own bills? Then what's the reality you face? Just like I described earlier, I'm going to decide that the thing that I prioritize above everything, above his resource, above the amount he cares for me. You'll see men cheat on a woman and then cry his eyes out trying to get that woman back. He still loves you. It's not the same as if you cheated. He loves you with all his heart. He'd die for you. He'd take a bullet for you, and he'd still fuck that bitch. Doesn't matter. It's different.
This is stupid. Don't women do the same thing? Have you not seen women who cheat on their husband and they cry to want the man back and beg for the man's forgiveness and tell them that they are deeply sorry? Don't it happen the other way around? Like, where is this nonsense coming from? Like, and there's no pushback on this. Everybody's like, oh, yeah. Have you not seen women who do the same thing? They will beg and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I did this to you. But they did it, and they are sorry for it, and they are begging, crying their eyes out, saying, I love you, don't leave me. So it applies, the man still loves you, even though he cheats on you, but when the woman does it, it's different, even though she's crying and begging for you to come back. That's to tell you the level of intelligence we are getting from the Andrew Tate, the pinnacle of masculinity himself.
Game for men, right? So you're sitting there going, well, I'm going to prioritize his sexual exclusivity over all of his other attributes. You're just going to end up having endless failed relationships, fucking too many dudes, and then what's going to happen is your psychology is going to break, because females don't like to accept the fact that if you sleep with enough men and you get rid of the stigma around a new dick, your instant answer is constantly new dick. He didn't text me today, fuck it, someone else. He was rude to me, fuck it, I'll cheat. He was this, I'll get a new boyfriend. And then you end up just jumping on cock all day and you're fucking done.
As many of you know.
All right, I think that is as much as we can take today from the pinnacle of true, authentic, upright, righteous Islamic masculinity, apparently. And so when a woman cannot accommodate a man who cheats, he's going to end up with another man who is going to cheat, another man who is going to cheat, and it's just hopeless, which of course is a huge lie, right? And then you are done because you keep hopping from one man to another because you cannot stick with a man who is going to cheat on you. Yeah, that's what happens when you decide as a woman to have standards. And yet these people say the problem of society is that women don't have standards. And now women have come up with standards, and one of those standards is they don't want men who cheat on them. And the men are saying, that is an unreasonable standard. Like, the whole red pill conversation is so stupid. It's really so stupid that it is shocking that so many people think like. But anyway, most of the people who think this nonsense, they have not really taken out time to listen to Andrew Tate himself. This is somebody who is encouraging cheating, who is saying women should get used to it, and should get. That is essentially what he's saying. Get used to cheating. If you don't get used to cheating, you can never find a man who will not cheat on you. When I myself know men who will, the last thing they will ever do is cheat on their wives. Last thing. When there are countless number of men out there who have never and will never do such an evil thing to their wives. Okay, we like going back to, 600,000 years ago to find an example of men. We have men like Isaac, right? Only one wife. Only one. Never cheated on his wife. What about that one? Doesn't count. What about Moses? Never cheated on his wife. A great leader, a wonderful man. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. What about leaders of the early church? Peter and co. One wife. Never cheated. At least it was never recorded of them cheating. And these were men who spoke against such behavior. Doesn't count. And when they taught men not to do that and said you should never do that, doesn't count. Those people don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand the baseline of humanity. Andrew Tate does. Paul does not, but Andrew Tate does. Early church writers and fathers did not. Andrew Tate does. People make it look like the idea of a man being faithful to his wife is a new idea that never existed before and was never pushed by people in society. It's just like, why are people acting like this? As if the idea of monogamy just originated 20 years ago. As if this is not old as 2,000 years old. The idea of monogamy. As if one of the greatest civilizations in human history did not come as a... Andrew Tate was talking about men who have been able to build skyscrapers and build bridges and build all those and do all those crazy things. The civilization that was able to achieve that, what was one of their core values? Was it not a monogamous relationship? Was that not how it came to be? You talk about Judeo-Christian values. What are those? What are those? And look at all those societies that promoted polygamous relationships. What did you find? What do you find there? Look at Africa. One of the things that is keeping Africa backward, if people don't know, I will tell you, is polygamy. Polygamy is not a good thing. It creates a lot of strife. It is the reason why Africans cannot unite. You see a family, just a family, one family with one man and 7 wives, and there is no unity amongst them. It's those people that cannot even unite amongst their own nuclear family that will unite with the rest of society. That will find the common ground that they did not find in their own household is what they will go outside and find. Andrew Tate does not represent. I hope we've been able to demo, at least with this short clip that Just Politics have given to us, we have been able to see clearly that he does not offer any meaningful insight. Doesn't. 20 minutes we've listened for over, how many minutes was this? For over 20 minutes. Okay, most of it were women bickering. For the most part, Andrew Tate was talking at least towards the end, and nothing of value has he contributed. The best he could do was recognize that there are differences between men and women. Duh. So no. For those of you who voted that it will happen once, you were wrong. For those who said it will happen a couple of times, you were wrong. For those who said it will happen a few times, you were also wrong. And the 28% of you who said it will never happen, you're right. I don't see it happening. And Andrew Tate is not a good role model. He is not. even today. Like I can bring some of the interviews, the interview he did with Tucker Carlson. I can bring a segment of it and we'll analyze it, and it will still be the same trash nonsense. It's just that people these days, I don't understand. Is it like zombie mentality that once somebody pop one or two catchphrases that you agree with, you're like, oh yeah, he's speaking facts, based. Come on, don't be like that. Don't be like like a dog that wants to say call his name and he starts jumping. Is that what you are? Can't you be articulate enough to be like, okay, or be smart enough? Let me say articulate. To be smart enough to realize that no. Underneath the repeating of catchphrases that conservatives agree with, underneath that is just a bunch of nothing. It's like a balloon filled with empty air, just air, nothing. Nothing is inside. That's what he is. A balloon painted red, written "Make America Great" on it. And because of that, everybody's like, yeah, he's the man. He's not. He's not a good value for young boys. No, he's not. He's not. His diagnosis, some of it are even way off. Terrible. And then his solution are abysmal, ridiculous, extremely stupid, borderline pathetic. And that is all I have to say. And tomorrow we'll be looking at Jordan Peterson. And I want to, before I get off this stream, I want to give us a hint of what that conversation will be like. And I want to give us a hint of what that conversation will be like. And the usual comments I get when I talk about Andrew Tate is this one here. Frank, did Tate vex your sister? Do you even know if I have a sister? Do you know if I have a sister? If you just some of the comments you say to offend people are just it will be offensive if it has some bearing with like reality, for example. But if you don't know me enough to know what you will say that will hurt me, so stop trying. Yeah. And let me pull up the clip. Also, please, guys, remember to follow me on Instagram. I say Instagram, sorry, on Twitter. Look at me, I'm just talking nonsense. Remember to follow me, guys, on Twitter. Please don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I am looking forward to your followership. We are looking forward to reaching 1,000 followers. I mean, that's a modest goal if you ask me. Right now we are 350. We can do this, guys. Please share my profile. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends to follow me on Twitter. Please, guys. I am counting on each and every one of you to help me make this a reality. I'm trying to get he released a trailer to the actual video, which has also been released as well. And that's what I'm looking for. If I don't find it, we'll just continue. But I'm hoping to find it. So where was I? Let me find the Jordan Peterson. I just want to I saw it on Twitter, but now I can't find it again. Don't know if it was deleted or something, but where I saw it was on Twitter. It was one of like his recent but the young man the old man rather, just keep making so many posts in one day. Don't even know how to keep up with the whole thing. Let me get it, guys. Please be patient with me. Just a little patience. Let me. Okay, found it. Found it.
Hello, everyone.
All right, let me share my screen. So yeah, we're just going to. It's 53 seconds long. So it's not, you know. So let's just watch this.
Hello, everyone. I've been awaiting a court decision in Canada with regards to me to be re-educated in relationship to my social media use or to lose my license. The court ruled today in favor of the college. They claimed that I have the right to free speech in Canada, but subject to apparently whatever limitations the college wants to place on me, and by implication every other professional in Canada, and by implication every other citizen of Canada. The full response to that, my full response to that, or my full initial response to be more accurate, we'll release that tomorrow. So stay tuned, and I hope you find it useful and interesting. Hello, everyone.
So yeah, that's the video, and the video he has released, which is already on his YouTube channel, is what we'll be reacting to tomorrow. And man, it's just concerning. It's just concerning. Like really, it's really concerning. I don't understand why a liberal society would do such a thing like what they are doing to is like I always say whenever the West does these things, I'm like, if you do this, what will African countries do? What would they do? If you do this, what do you think African countries would do? Like now you are giving them the license to do it with impunity. Do it believing that they are doing the right thing. You guys are examples of how a progressive society should behave. Or at least that's how we see you. And when you do things like this, you tell Africans that this is what progress looks like. And Africans that are still trying to move past dictatorship and censorship, where if you hurt the feelings of the government, they will throw you in prison or do whatever to you. When they see this, they realize, oh, we've been right all along. That's what you're telling them. You're telling them that Robert Mugabe was doing the right thing. You are telling them that Sani Abacha was right on track. There was nothing wrong with whatever they were doing. I know you don't know who these names are, but these are dictators. And that's what your society has become. Democratically become a dictatorship. A tyrannical society. This should concern everyone. This should really concern everyone. Where somebody... Anyway, let me save a lot of my comments for tomorrow. Let me save the comments for tomorrow. There's somebody who asks, what do I post on X? A lot of exciting stuff. Like a lot of exciting stuff. Yeah, you just follow me and you see those things. Really exciting, interesting stuff. You know. Or even if you don't want to know, just follow me for following sake. I don't post anything. It will be silent. Whatever it takes, whatever I need to tell you to make you follow me on Twitter, or on X, whatever people want to call it these days, just tell me what I should say or what I should do, and I'll do it right away so that you follow me. Anyways, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It has been lovely. It has been wonderful. We've been here for 2 hours. And you guys have been with me. Today we started with 136 viewers, but we are not able to retain that. Maybe they saw that I didn't like Andrew Tate and they were like, oh, please. You know. Yeah, I guess that's what happened. People were like, oh, this is somebody who's going to do a live stream about my guy. You know, and they were like, oh, he will agree with him. Maybe there were many people who were with, you know, probably those were a vast majority who voted 23, 26, 23. And now they're like, oh, damn it, like, done it. And then they just went off the stream. You could have just waited and see what I had to say, you know, other things that I had to say. But you did not. Anyways, my gratitude goes to those who, despite their they are not agreeing with me on, the Andrew Tate, the subject matter of Andrew Tate, and how much of a positive influence they think he is. They stayed with me and, had my case and see why I believe that he's not a positive. Like, another question I want to ask is, how did we go from Jordan Peterson? How does a rational, sane, intelligent human being go from Jordan Peterson to Andrew Tate? Like, how did that transition happen? How did it happen? Because I knew there was a time it was Jordan Peterson. And great, fine. And then how did people just go from that guy? It's like starting from here and then ending here. Like, how? How did the trajectory of restoring masculinity go like woo and then just pew? It didn't even go up again, just downward spiral. That's something that should be studied. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate. And I want to appreciate those who gave super chats. I want to appreciate those who commented, who liked, even the spammer. I know your name. Chimjim. Let me not mispronounce your name. Chijimka. I don't know if that's how it is pronounced in Igbo. I don't even know how to pronounce Igbo names. I'm a terrible Igbo person. Chijimka. I think I pronounced it well. I see you. I'm coming for you. You want the attention, I've given it to you. Anyway, so yeah. Please remember to follow me on Twitter. Thank you, guys. I'm talking plenty. I don't think I have much to say. And with that being said, thank you, and thank you. And have a very lovely day, night, wherever it is or whatever point in time you are listening to me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And peace.